My name is Marcia, and I am speechless. No, really, I'm totally speechless. I've been sick the last couple of days, and I can hardly talk. So this is part 2 of 3 of my nutritionist appointment. And in this video, you will see the initial consultation between me and my nutritionist, where she learns some about me, my goals, and my intent of what I'm trying to accomplish. And I really feel like this is important for me to share for anybody who is on the same journey as me and has ever considered meeting with a nutritionist. This might help you learn a little bit about what to expect. So a link to the part 1 video is right here. I did decide to meet with this nutritionist in particular because 1, she was recommended to me by my primary care doctor, and 2, she is a diabetic specialist. So she deals specifically with nutrition and stuff for diabetics. And I am not a diabetic, but I am pre-diabetic. So I did feel like she would have a little bit of greater insight as to how blood sugars and everything would affect me and the meals I've been eating, if there's any changes I could make based on that. So let's get into it. Oh man.
Were they all in order too?
Well, they've got numbers on the pages, so. Thank you.
Oh man. Marcia, before we get down there, I have a student observing this morning. If you're comfortable, if not, we can have him.
No, that's fine.
Sure.
I also, just so you know, I video record a lot of things too.
Okay.
But I don't put faces or whatever of other people.
Okay. So you were already in the office this morning, so
Yes.
they checked in.
Yep.
I'm Linda Hart. I'm a dietitian, diabetes educator.
Okay.
So welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. So what's been happening, or what's your goal for today?
Well, my
to get
goal,
out of this visit?
what I'm hoping to get, so I have everything that I've been eating for the last month.
Okay.
I've been tracking it with my Fitbit. And I have my story. When I first met with Dr. Barletta, I had already posted my first YouTube video. And like, I'm full accountability. I'm putting everything out there so everybody can see what I'm doing and help hold me accountable.
Wow.
So, because I know I need to make drastic changes in my life. So, so I put the videos out there, and I've had, great responses and feedback to all of it.
Okay.
And I guess I am looking to have you review what I've been doing and
Okay.
review this nutrition plan and see,
Okay.
get your thoughts on it and see
Okay.
what adjustments I can make based on what I've been doing and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Very cool. And then I just want to check in. It looked like, did Dr. Barletta start you on the levothyroxine
Yes.
last month? So that was brand new to you?
That was brand new. Yeah.
Okay. And he rechecked it and the number came down?
Yeah. So it came down to I think 3.75.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So ultimately, outside of weight, what are your health goals?
Professionally, I'm a real estate agent,
Okay.
and we have a coach for our business.
Okay.
And the best way for us to grow our business and increase just our overall business and everything is you have to know your numbers, so you can focus on the things that you're lacking in or whatever, improve those areas to help grow. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In our coaching, it's not just about your business; it's also about your entire life. If you're lacking in a certain area of your life, then it will affect your business. Mm-hmm. And I've always been hitting like this glass ceiling in my business and can't get past it. So my health and everything is something that I really need to focus on to move my business forward even further. From a mental health and a physical health standpoint, that's another reason why I started addressing all of this stuff. Overall nutrition
yes, my weight is a big factor, but it's not just that. It's making sure that all of my numbers and everything are healthy and that I can function as a healthy human being. So
Cool.
that's my overall goal.
I love it. I love it. You internally healthy. Weight isn't a number, but it can affect some things. But I see what you're saying, being healthy overall, and then to get your career goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super cool.
Thank you.
Kudos to you for rocking up on your own.
Thank you.
All right. So it looked like, just to review, I don't know how in depth Dr. Barletta went with the blood work, but some things that I saw besides the thyroid, which did come down. The A1C was a little elevated. I don't know how familiar you are with pre-diabetes.
Not a lot. You know, no. I don't know if anybody in my family is diabetic or if it's just because of their nutrition up until and then they develop diabetes. Because I know that there's different types of diabetes, and some are you're born with it, and some are because of poor health. Beyond that, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know some of the side effects that people can get if they don't take care of their diabetes. But that's beyond that, I don't know a lot about it.
Okay.
So.
And as we go through what you've been doing, so some of the things I might say specifically I'll connect to blood sugar control in that sense. But you know, an A1C less than 6.5 is pre-diabetic. So if we can make lifestyle changes, food changes, see some weight loss, oftentimes that can improve greatly. And never have to progress. But usually diabetes, and once you have an A1C over 6.5, you're usually on your medical record diabetes, and you can control it really well, but it may always be there with you. And if some of those habits start to come back, the blood sugar will creep back up.
Sure.
And it is a progressive disease, meaning your body tends to get worse over time if you're not taking care of it or managing diet and lifestyle. So this is a perfect time to, you know, make some lifestyle and diet changes so that hopefully that's not something you have to address in the long term. Cholesterol, did you guys talk about that?
Not when we spoke, like we just kind of email exchanges through the portal, but we didn't actually have an in-depth conversation about cholesterol.
Okay. So cholesterol is definitely something we'll address too, especially with food. Just so you know, your total cholesterol overall, the target is less than 199. Yours was 238. The HDL, the good cholesterol, the one we want to be higher, was right at 50. So that kind of was like the cusp. We want that one to be higher if possible. Triglycerides were within target. They should be less than 150. Yours were 144. And that correlates to blood sugar as well. Sometimes when we see people with diabetes or pre-diabetes, the triglycerides are actually starting to sneak up. So yours aren't. Yours are looking decent there, but those are things that we can talk about, foods to keep them low.
Okay.
And then LDL, quote unquote bad cholesterol, the one we want to be low. The target is less than 100 at this point. Yours was 161.
Okay.
So definitely talking about how do we reduce that. You know, high cholesterol just puts us at greater risk for cardiac events.
Okay.
So you may have already been making some changes with the food, but we'll go over those as well too.
Okay.
In terms of weight, is there a goal that you're working towards?
All right, my starting goal is to get under 300.
Okay.
So I tier my goals because, like, even in my business, I had a goal my first year, I hit that goal, and then I stopped. And I feel like the same thing with my weight loss. If I just have one goal, I don't want it to be too big that I won't get there.
Love it.
So I try to tier my goals. So my first goal is to get under 300, and then it kind of a 50-pound increments. Okay. And then based on my height, I feel like I should probably be around 130. Okay. Would be a good weight range for me. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but.
So they have you at 6'1"3/4.
Yeah. 6.
So we'll throw it to the student. We'll see him. He's a DTR. He can calculate the ideal body weight for us, and we'll come back to it. But I think you're smart in that approach. That tiering it is a great structure, you know, because even if we're just speaking with cholesterol and pre-diabetes, a 7 to 10% reduction in weight helps alleviate some of those issues. So your first goal is well within that, and you know we should start to see some of those chronic health issues kind of go to the wayside. Good. And from there, should be determined on how you feel. You know, are you eating healthily? Are you having to restrict so much that you're not getting nutrients to get to your next goal? Right. But I think that's a fine approach.
Awesome, thank you.
So what I typically do now, and you've kind of cut out some work for us, but I kind of go over what you eat and when, and it seems like you brought me some good records. How much variation or transformation in terms of your food has gone on in the last month or so?
So Over the last year, there's been a couple times like I've tried to do we did AIP paleo for a full month because my girlfriend, she has like either 7 or 9 different autoimmune diseases.
Wow.
So in reading a lot of information online, I found out that a lot of foods can increase inflammation and stuff, and inflammation affects autoimmune diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So like the end of last year, we did autoimmune, so we eliminated 5 things. So there was nightshades, dairy, eggs, trying to think of some, all grains and glutens, and legumes. So we eliminated all of that from our diet for 30 days.
Okay.
And then we started to introduce certain things back in. And she also, her chiropractor also does, we call her a voodoo doctor because there's certain things she can put them in your hand and she can like manipulate your body and tell if your body reacts to something.
Okay.
So we found out according to her that she has a gluten allergy and an egg allergy.
Okay.
I also know that I'm lactose intolerant. It was
Okay.
something I was born with.
Okay.
I still eat lots of eggs because I love eggs.
Okay.
I'm a
good.
breakfast person.
Good.
But I try to, obviously I don't cook things that have eggs in them that would affect her,
Okay.
other than like my omelet in the morning, so, yeah.
Okay. So some things you're continuing because you guys share food and
Yeah.
Okay. So you added back in eggs. Did you add any of those other, the nightshade vegetables, legumes?
Yeah,
grains?
so we've, the only legume that I'm not, I guess there's quite a few that I don't eat just because I don't like them. But I didn't introduce, I don't even know what, legumes, all right, we'll skip that one. So nightshades, we've put all those back in, peppers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then tomatoes, because those are nightshade as well.
Mhm.
I did not bring back any gluten stuff
Okay.
because I know me personally, I have an addiction to carbs,
Okay.
and more specifically to breads and cakes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Those, when I binge eat, those are the things that I binge on.
Okay.
So I don't keep those in our house at all.
Okay.
Last year when we did the AIP thing, I removed everything from the house, completely trashed everything. Everything that was unopened, we gave away. Some of them to a food pantry, some of them to some of our friends that we were like, hey, we won't eat this,
Yeah.
here, take this.
Cool.
So I even got rid of all regular flours and sugars are all gone. So when I use flour now, I use like a cassava flour,
Okay.
stuff like that, so.
Okay. So taking a side step, you mentioned binge eating.
Mhm.
Is it something that you're still dealing with?
On occasion, yeah, you'll see on here, there's a day that, and I told Dr. Barletta this too, we ordered an extra large pizza and I ate half of the pizza. Or if I'm really craving bread, I actually went to the grocery store and bought croissants and I ate a whole shit ton of croissants.
Okay.
So yeah, it's still something that I'm working on. Because I'm also tracking using my Fitbit, tracking my steps and calorie burn and everything, I feel okay with it in the fact that as long as I can keep my calorie burn above my calorie intake, then at least I'm on the right trajectory.
Okay.
So I do still struggle with binge eating on occasion.
With all this tracking that you're doing, have you found any triggers that are leading you into episodes of binge eating?
So I actually didn't bring it with me. I've been keeping a daily journal too.
Okay.
Usually I found that if I'm super stressed about something,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I'm like, I just need to eat something. There was one night, it was 12:30 at night, and I'm like, I just need to eat something. So that time, because I was at home and I was like, I wasn't going to go to the store, I wasn't driving somewhere, so it wasn't an easy stop to say, let me just get this. It's usually if I'm out of the house or if I don't have food, like a planned meal with me or whatever.
Mhm.
That's when I'm finding that I'm more apt to stop and buy something shitty for myself.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So I think that's super cool that you are tracking all of these and looking at some of these things and trying to find out what is correlated to what. My thought sometimes with binge eating is, especially because you're doing, changing up eating habits, are those happening on days where you haven't eaten a lot or you've, been restrictive in some form, and then that stress is that final straw.
Could be.
So that might be something to also look at when you're journaling or glancing back at your intake. Is this a day, and we'll talk a lot about balanced meals, is this a day I didn't eat very balanced, or I didn't have time for lunch, and then I was stressed because of work, and then did that lead into it?
Okay.
Because you can also know, your satiety level at the beginning of the binge. Like,
Yeah.
was I hungry physically, or was this more of a stressful?
Right. And I know that water intake can also affect your satiety too. So I've been trying to focus on, so this bottle here is 16 ounces.
Okay.
And I try to drink at least 4 of these a day. That's my
Okay.
goal. To have a minimum of 4, preferably more.
Okay.
So
Is that relatively new?
that much, yeah, it's like in the last month or so. And since I've been on the levothyroxine, I drink a full bottle of this with the pill before I eat anything throughout the day. So
Okay. How long are you giving yourself before you eat?
I used to be the kind of person like breakfast it's still my favorite meal of the day, but I was always like, as soon as I wake up, I'm like, I have to eat. So now I've kind of changed that part a little bit, in that I am now waiting until probably noon. So after I go to bed, then when I wake up, I take my levothyroxine about 9 in the morning,
Okay.
and so I'm not eating until about noon. But I
Okay.
still am eating on average about three to 4 meals a day.
And you said you're waking up at 9?
No, I actually wake up some days between 5, 6, just depends.
Okay. And then you're taking your
I take my levothyroxine around 9.
What is the thought behind waiting till 9?
The pharmacist said that I shouldn't eat anything for at least a half hour after I take the pill. And because I was a morning person, I was like, I normally eat breakfast around 9:30ish, so I'll just take it at 9. And then I was like, some days I would forget because I wasn't hungry. I didn't eat breakfast at 9:30, so I just kept taking it at 9 because that's when I started taking it every day.
Okay.
And then because I wasn't feeling hungry, I've been doing, I guess you call it intermittent fasting or whatever, until about noon. And even when I eat at noon, I'm not hungry. It's not like, oh my God, I have to eat something. I'm doing it now purposefully because I'm comfortable doing it.
Okay.
And I don't feel hungry waiting for that. And
Okay. So I'm kind of on the fence in terms of thoughts on intermittent fasting. When someone has diabetes and they are taking medications to manage their blood sugar, I definitely am not supportive of intermittent fasting. The longer that we go without eating, one, if you're on certain medications, could cause you to go low blood sugar.
Sure.
But two, the part of the issue with diabetes and pre-diabetes is that the liver is kind of misbehaving.
Okay.
So when it gets stressed, or you're sick, or you aren't eating at regular intervals, it tends to produce sugar on its own. It normally produces sugar.
Sure.
But in this instances of pre-diabetes or diabetes, it tends to overreact.
Okay.
So if you go long stretches of time, it can actually raise your blood sugar. And so right now you're in that kind of pre-diabetes category, so I would assume that the liver is being overreactive at some times. But you're also achieving weight loss, which we know helps make your body more sensitive to the insulin that you're making. So that's why I'm kind of giving you a 50-50 answer here, or recommendation. I'm not as hard line as if I would if your A1C was higher or if you were on certain medications. But I want you to be aware that that is part of the physiology that's happening with pre-diabetes, that your liver is likely overreacting at some of these points, and you're not testing your blood sugar, so you can't really determine if that's happening to you.
Exactly.
That being said, if you're up at 5 or 6, my suggestion would be take the levothyroxine then, and then, whether you continue with intermittent fasting or not, you still have potential to eat at that time that you used to eat. Instead of waiting, you've now been up for 7 hours, and likely your brain definitely needed fuel during those 7 hours, that your liver has started to misbehave and overreact.
Okay.
And just part of that, bringing that A1C down, is keeping your blood sugar more stable, meaning it's not having excursions like this. So if we can eat approximately an hour, but within an hour, hour and a half of waking up, and then from there every 4 or 5 hours while you're awake, it helps keep that liver, all right, cool, I've got the fuel I need for the brain, I don't need to get involved, and also gives your body reasonable portions to manage insulin-wise.
Okay.
So that's my kind of 2 cents there.
Sure.
Let's see. prior to the levothyroxine and changing it up, what were you eating in the morning? Or has that not changed? Is that now just shifted to midday?
It's kind of just shifted
Okay.
the time wise.
So let's see, would that be in here?
So this is that whole 30, like since August 1st, that's
Okay.
first is calorie page, and then there's each day of what
you
I
actually
ate,
ate.
and yeah.
Okay.
And then I even have this, so this one here is about my calorie burn and my steps that I've taken, and then this one is my sleep. So like how many minutes I've slept, and according to my Fitbit anyway.
Okay.
So I don't know how accurate this part is when it comes to.
Do you feel like you get restful sleep?
No, and that's actually something that because I've done the sleep study, and because that's kind of the last thing I'm waiting for is my CPAP, so I can get a more restful night's sleep.
So there you have it. If you found any of this information helpful, please make sure you like this video. If you have any comments or have any other items that you want to share with me, please make a comment below. And also don't forget to subscribe. I certainly appreciate all of your support, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. So I didn't catch her climbing into the bag. But look, I think Melody wants to come to work with me. Because look, she's in my bag. Is bring your daughter to... Hi, Melody. What are you doing in my bag? She's totally curled up in the bottom of that. Look at her.
I was hiding.
Oh, look at her. She's just curled up in the bottom of my bag there. She's so funny. See, this is my KW bag. See the KW on it. And there's my kitty. She thinks she's coming with me to work. Melody, what are you doing? Hi. I'm sorry, did I open the bag? Do you want it closed again? Here you go. Is that better? Melly. Hey. What are you doing? You're very cute. Okay, good night. Have a nice nap.